So, grifter in chief Andrew Gold has got a new YouTube channel and he started some investigative journalism. Wow. Let's get straight into the video inside the British town that said no to so called illegal immigrants. So, already we've started with a lie, a misnomer. Let's get straight into the video. I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Your young lady wouldn't be able to walk down the road like that. She'd get stoned to death.
What really happens when a small British town is offered millions to house illegal migrants and says no?
Britain's lost control of its borders over the last 5 years.
This is Tintad.
Again, just a lie. They have a right to come here. They are asylum seekers, refugees. That's why they're not deported. This was a manufactured issue from the Tory party to create this divisive rhetoric against so-called illegal immigrants. No, they have a right to be here. It's simple. Like, if you don't like those democratic values, you can have that opinion, but you are wrong. They are human. And I just want to remind people in the audience, we are talking about humans here.
Legendary home of King Arthur, and now the front line in Britain's immigration battle.
I don't think you will find one person in this village that is happy.
Again, very fascist. I mean, look at the thumbnail. Well, I'll use the thumbnail in my thumbnail. But battle. Listen to that language. It's deeply fascistic. A battle. No, these are just people coming over. Legally, they have the right to do it.
To have them here.
The UK has allowed in millions of immigrants in just the past year or two. And
okay, so he's conflating. This is what they do because they're dishonest. So conflating asylum seekers, refugees, illegal immigrants, and immigrants. All very different things, but you have to muddy the water and conflate, and incredibly dishonest.
with space at a premium, has resorted to housing illegal migrants in 4-star hotels.
Okay, even if this is true, again, he's lied already, so let's not take him on his word. Why is that the case? Will he answer that question? Well, we'll see, won't we?
You come to this country, you should not be entitled to benefits, maybe for a minimum of 10 years.
Now,
people aren't. You pay more tax for the NHS. The idea that they're coming over, no, you get like £27 a week, which is nothing in the UK. What can you get for £27? You probably get like a bag of shopping from Tesco these days with 27 quid. It's no money. I'm sorry, if you think 27, that's insane.
the government has turned to this iconic Cornish town, but hotel owner John Mappin slammed the door shut and sparked a national row.
Initially, I thought it was a joke.
They should be incredibly grateful.
It's a humiliation exercise.
In this video, I'll take
Another fascist there, Tucker Carlson.
you inside the hotel they wanted to use, speak to the locals about how they really feel, and uncover whether this refusal was about principle, profit, or something else entirely.
They should find an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and take them there.
If you like sure law so much, go to Afghanistan.
I was surprised to find that word had got out. The locals were expecting me.
Medical emergency! Fire! Fire! Hello?
It's not that we don't like change. I think it's more the case of we don't want change.
But I've never heard anything.
See, they're always the worst people, the most backward people who just don't care about life. This is it. These are the worst people. I'm sorry, you may not like that, but these are horrible people.
About it would have been a good idea if the immigrants came. Almost everybody is like, oh, thank gosh, that didn't happen. It would have ruined the place.
It's not their fault.
But then again, who made the choice? Who made the political choice not to process them, which 80-90% of people who come over and seek asylum or refugee are accepted? Why have they manufactured this? To stoke this hate, this division in areas that have never had exposure to different cultures. And it's the best sanitation for these racist views, and that's what they are, is exposure. It's that simple. We know it with trans people, gay people, black people, any people who are different to the heteronormative norm. It's exposure. I'm sorry, these people hold disgusting views. And they may not like that, but freedom of speech is a beautiful thing, isn't it?
We've let it happen, and now what do we do with it? They're not bad people.
Okay.
They're just misguided fools.
Were you happy that John Mappin said no for the Camelot Castle?
Yes, because there has to be a stop, hasn't there? But it's not the people's fault that are coming.
If you take away the tourists, then the whole area suffers. Sticking a bunch of unemployed, mainly men, we use the term mainly men, who...
Well, give them jobs then. If they're unemployed, make them work. A lot of them come here to work, so why not let them work?
only get a certain amount per week to live on, it's going to decimate this area.
And also the people working, there's 30 staff members who would be...
Based on what? Again, pure speculation, no evidence. What do you mean decimate the area? Your town's dead anyway. Like, what industry do you have? There's a reason why you have these viewpoints. There's a reason why people who live in these areas have these viewpoints. Lack of education, lack of exposure to different people. And it does create huge bigotry. And we should call it out for what it is. There's a systemic element to it. And there is, because again, the more exposure, the better. But we need to call this out. It's disgusting. It's a deplorable viewpoint they hold.
They were going to be fired for this.
Yeah, if the migrants came into the hotel, it would have been the last holiday hotel for people to come into Tintagel to stay. So there's only a couple of B&Bs, Airbnbs left, and that would really affect.
Okay, build more hotels. So you don't get that much tourism then. So which one is it? Decimate tourism, which you don't have, clearly, because you get one fucking hotel. No one wants to go there because it's a shithole. Which one is it?
The trade coming into the village. We just have day visitors instead of people coming to stay in Tintagel.
I would pay a lot of money to stay at that hotel down there, let alone to be housed there for free.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does it annoy you that sort of the liberal elite and the celebrity class, they
Liberal elite
would call your views racist?
100%.
And at the end,
well, freedom of speech, buddy. Freedom of speech, beautiful thing. We live in a democracy. Freedom of speech, beautiful. You don't like it? Maybe leave, as they say.
At the end of the day, Albania's a safe country. Why are they crossing? And if you can pay 4, 5, 6, whatever it is grand to a people smuggler, then obviously when you arrive in the country, you're not destitute, are you?
Maybe after the money you've spent on the people smuggler.
Then don't spend it and stay at home.
They should find an island.
See, he knows nothing about the people who come over, why they come over, motivations, their links to the country. Often they come here to work, to send money back, to have a life. Like, what's wrong with that? They're literally contributing to our GDP, our economy. You may not like that, but they do nonetheless. The evidence is pretty clear.
In the middle of the Pacific Ocean and take them there, house them there.
If you like sure well auto, mate.
See, it's just hate. That's all it is. He embodies what he just said then was just the embodiment of this worldview. They're not human. They're not human. How do you deal with non-human problems? Well, you just put them on an island in the middle of nowhere in the Pacific Ocean and they die. And that's what a lot of people want. I mean, you see it all the time. Far-right people saying, oh, I'd like to have a gun and go down to the White Cliffs of Dover. This viewpoint needs to be shamed for what it is. Like, in the way they used to talk about black people in the 60s, in the way they used to talk about homosexuals in the 70s and 80s, we need to make this unacceptable, this viewpoint, and how people just dehumanize people so blasé. Like, we're talking about humans here.
Go to Afghanistan.
They deserve the help, but we need to start focusing on our own folks.
We do need to find...
Which one is it then? We can do both, right? We don't have to pick. We can help others. We can, again, they always say that though, but then they vote for people who don't want to help, who want to cut benefits, austerity, don't want to tax wealthy people. So yes, we can help people, homeless people, poor people, give people pay rises, and also we can help, our fair share taking our fair shares of refugees, asylum seekers, because we don't. Like Germany, France take more than us. So we need to do our bit.
Find someone with the other opinion that would have wanted the migrants to be housed there.
I don't think you will find one person in this village that is happy to have them here. We have no judgment, so to say, but
She knows everybody in the village. She probably does. Yeah.
it's a big ask of the government.
Are people who don't want it racist?
Not racist. If they only realise we're all human beings, aren't we? And we all seek a better place to live. And that's all they're doing, isn't it?
Fair play to her. See, I mean, yeah, she's right.
Would you be worried about your
Interesting.
safety as well?
Yeah. Like, you
Based on what? Based on any evidence?
hear all the time about all the rapes that have been happening since migrants have been around, and
Data on this? What, from GB News? Right-wing demagogues like Andrew Gold?
it would be one thing if it was the women and children. That's different.
So it's Albanians and now it's grooming gangs from Pakistan. I mean, which one is it? Like, you have to be clear. If you're going to lie, you have to be consistent in your lies because it doesn't work otherwise. People aren't convinced. I mean, people are convinced because they're fucking stupid, but I'm not convinced.
But it's not. It's a lot of men coming. There is next to no crime here. And I would be worried.
Hello, John.
Andrew Gold, how are you?
Good, how are you doing? Would John let me in and show me around? And if he did, what kind of luxury was really on offer behind those grand doors that the government sought out for those coming illegally into the UK?
Again, they're not coming illegally. They have the right under the 1951 Refugee Convention to seek asylum through irregular means. That's why when they come here, they are put in hotels to be processed. We need to spend the money to process them quicker and not have this as a visual headline for far-right bigots who don't care about British people. All they care about is hate.
You can't play with cultures like this. I literally, genuinely
What does that even mean? What do you mean?
thought it was not just a joke, I thought it was a wind-up.
As you walk around here, you really get the feeling of this English majesty, and you feel like every single thing that you've pointed out to us is a vital part of English history. So can you imagine just this being held as a migrant centre, a legal migrant centre?
I could imagine it actually, because it's happened elsewhere. I am not against any other culture. I just favour our own. I think that we'd probably put 200, maybe 300 migrants in the hotel.
How have your staff reacted
horrible.
to hearing about all of this?
Really? That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, what? Like, they probably can't get people to stay there, so let's make use of it, right?
Well, I think they were quite shocked after they found out because, of course, the government wanted to lay them all off.
I mean, it's very sad what the government does to us. I'm not the only one who's been here around 20 years, and suddenly they want us to lose the job because of some other characters to come here.
We're probably the biggest employer in this area, so a lot of people rely on this business to function.
Well, thanks to Mr. Mappin, we are.
Again, is this even true? Why would surely they still need staff?
Safe here.
And do you get the feeling that John hates immigrants and foreign people?
Oh my God. See, that's how thing you have to be like, we're not racist. We're not racist. I mean, I just want to put them in the Pacific Island in the middle of nowhere and to die. But you know, we don't hate foreigners. We just don't want any in this country. We want an ethno state. But, you know, we don't hate them.
No, there's quite a few of us who came here, you know, as a part of the EU, and we have a job here.
Oh yeah, because immigrants never hate other immigrants, you know, like Konstantin Kisin or, you know, anyone who has been lied to and falls for that propaganda that somehow other immigrants are going to take your job. Oh, that, you know, never heard that before.
So Mr. Mappin is a very friendly person and everyone is welcome.
English people.
He was standing behind the camera, but staring at him as he said that he's very welcome. He will say that. He will be friendly about me. I'm a good boss. I'm the best boss.
Extremely welcoming. Okay, but they only ask for very simple things. They want you to come legally. They want you to be respectful of the culture.
They are coming legally. I haven't seen any evidence that they're not necessarily respectful of the culture. Like, I mean, I've seen people trying to burn down hotels containing migrants and refugees. Certainly seen that. I've not seen the other way round. I've seen a guy try to stab a neo-Nazi, trying to stab I think, well, he was an asylum seeker. He was actually, legally here.
They want you to integrate, be helpful, pay your taxes.
Most immigrants do integrate. Actually, like, we are real success story, and they do pay taxes. They're a 1/5 the workforce. They contribute massively to the tax base, the GDP. They're more likely to create businesses. They're hardworking. They integrate. Most of them do integrate. We are a success story of multiculturalism. It's the people who don't have exposure are the problem. It is. It always has been. It always will be. The same with black rights. The same with gay people. The same with women. The same with trans rights. They're the problem, not the people who just want to live their lives. They just want to live their lives. Just imagine they're just like you, because they are.
If you do that, and I never met nothing but kindness. But then to people to come and take advantage of that kindness is not right. You cannot.
Any evidence of that?
Not be just you just step your foot and you get everything for free.
It's just not true. It's just so frustrating, because it's just not true, is it?
And you prioritized over the local people. For me, it's insane.
How are you being 27 quid a week? Can't work. Don't really have any rights. You can't vote. You can't do anything. Like, what are you doing day to day? Just sitting around doing nothing when you could be working, contributing? Like, how is that being a priority? It's just so nonsensical. Like, these are all emotional arguments with no evidence. No evidence at all.
I want to do everything possible to protect this country, to keep it what it is. I think British people have a lot to be proud about, and I want to be proud with them.
It was a very, very shocking thing, and I think it was shocking also for the local community to find out, because as you'll see in the village of Tintagel, this is a tiny community of about 1,500 people. Well, if you have 300 or 200 or even 100 extra people, you would notice that. If you had an extra 30 people here, you would actually notice it. What also happens is they leak out into the society, because they have.
What does that mean, leak out? See, it's just, they're not humans to that. It's just like a mulch of miasma, some foreign object that is a stain on their town. I mean,
have security for these buildings, but the security is to stop the public coming in. It is not to stop the migrants leaving.
yeah, because we had the summer riots last year and people tried to burn down they tried to have a pogrom against these people. That's why. That's a serious thing.
And so I said, is there a natural leakage? I don't know how they're supposed to do checks on these people, because they dump all their passports over the side of the boat.
Oh my God. Evidence for that? They just hold that's what they do. They bring the passports over, and then once they're just about to hit the White Cliffs of Dover, that's when they throw them over. And we've got video footage of that, and that's what happened every time. They're like, right, lads, passports off. They throw them off, and then they get a new car. They get a Lamborghini. They get 5-star hotels. They get Thai brides. They get a job in London, and they're set up for life. Their kids go to Oxford, Cambridge, and it's pretty good. And we pay for all of it. That's true. All of that was true.
As far as I can understand. So you can only imagine what would happen if Tintagel had gotten the reputation for basically being either a temporary or permanent migrant camp.
So just completely no evidence, just fear-mongering, fascist fear-mongering about brown people coming over, even though they come over legally. It's disgusting. And this is fascist propaganda. Let's call it what it is. And these people aren't necessarily bad people, but they have been caught up in really horrible views. And the way they talk about these people is very dehumanizing and quite sick, because it's not inevitable. None of this is inevitable. We could treat these people with dignity, respect, as a democracy should. And if they stay here, integrate, help us grow our economy, and just please have a real conversation about who's causing problems in the UK, because it's not asylum seekers and refugees. It's the people in power. So I'll see you in the next video. Comment below. Hit the like button. See you later.